Tears stinging his eyes, he stumbled along the rocky ridge. In blind haste, he clipped a cross wall built to shelter visitors to the summit, and cut his knee. But he hurried on. Time was short. The wind smacked his skin as if punishing him for stupidity, but he paid it no heed. He couldn't go home. Home was where people would come to find him. To escape, he must find a safe way down. He was aiming for a dip between the crags and the chance of shelter in the next valley. His breath came in short gasps. Spots of rain greased his hair. The ground was like glue under his feet. Ahead, a familiar squat cairn loomed out of the darkness, and he yelped in frustration. He was exhausted, yet so far he had covered little more than a mile. Not far enough. Not nearly far enough. His cheeks were moist, and he knew he was crying for himself, not for the dead woman. Soon, people would be chasing after him. Whenever something bad happened, he was blamed. What could be worse than this? No one knew Tarn Fell better. He thought of it as his backyard, and yet, in his distress, he was unsure which downward track to take. As the ground fell away, his foot slid. For a moment, he thought he'd turned his ankle, but it was all right. Facts. He would cling to hard facts. People mocked him for his love of facts, but facts weren't like women. They were safe, and they never let you down. 4, 5, 7, 10. Safety in numbers. He paused. There was so much that he knew by heart, and yet the shock of finding the woman's body had emptied his brain. No, it was all right. 14, 17, 19, 18, 15, 11, 7 and 6. Those were the average daily temperatures in the lakes, from January to December inclusive. He stopped to peer over the precipice. Darkness punctured only by a light in the lonely farmhouse far below. Thunder rumbled, and he counted 3 seconds until the lightning flashed. The rain began to sheet down, sharp and unforgiving. He was close to the heart of the storm. Now, the 4 highest mountains in order of height. Feet, not meters. Scorfell Pike, 3,210. Scorfell, 3,162. Helvellyn, 3,118. Skiddaw, 3,053. The numbers soothed his brain. Lists and figures were a comfort. You always knew where you were with them. As a child, when his mother had shouted at him, he'd taken refuge in his bed and pulled the blankets over his face, reciting to himself the latest data he'd stowed away. He started to pick his way down the narrow path. Wait. He'd blundered on to the Devil's Elbow, a zigzag route winding between 2 deep fissures, carved by frost and rain. No point in tears. In a downpour so fierce he could see nothing. The fells were safe, Wainwright used to say, as long as you watched where you put your feet. Suddenly, the path convulsed over a mass of shattered rock. The rain had made it more dangerous, and he found himself slipping. He threw out an arm and grabbed a clump of heather, striving in vain to break his fall. A phrase his mother used came spinning into his mind. Rolling down the hill, she liked to say. Barry's always rolling down the hill. It was her way of describing what he was like when he went on and on about trivial things that meant nothing to her. Now, he was rolling down the hill for real. The ravine gaped in front of his eyes, a harsh mouth waiting to swallow him. He pitched into it, arms and legs smashing against stone as he fell. His forehead caught on a ledge which gouged his flesh. The pain was cruel. He screamed for help, but there was nobody to hear. He didn't pray. He'd never been able to imagine God, but he told himself that he would survive the drop, even if his